Screw around too long, my coffee gets cold. And the dogs know I'm online, so here they are. Yay! So it's a lovely Wednesday morning, right? Wednesday morning. Hello! I hope everybody's having a wonderful morning so far. It is beautiful outside. Good morning, Fran. Good morning, Lori. I think I'm going to go outside at some point today and plant petunias. At this house, we have a beautiful place in the backyard that is all concrete. I know, then beep notification. That is all concrete, and it's we're in a really shagadelic house, you guys. I mean, it's really shagadelic. Everything's built in. We had to take so many things out. It was so moldy when we bought it, and I mean, super shagadelic. Like the green carpet was gross. But in the back is this beautiful, beautiful big live oak that drapes down over top of this area that I totally plan on using this summer if I'm home. But I'm going to line it with petunias and flowers and lavender and all these really great things. And I want to sit out there and drum. Now, here's the thing. I've been out back working before, and we're right smack dab in the Pawnee reservation, okay? And I'll be sitting out there, and they have the big community drum, and they're out there working on that drum, and it just right here, right? It just is such an incredible sound. I kind of feel, I don't know, I'm nervous to go out and drum in my backyard just because I am surrounded by people that are raised in this tradition, and it's just it's a beautiful place to do it. We're working on finishing the backyard fence, but as soon as I have the fence done, I'll go back there and I'll be able to drum. So I'm really excited about that. I have a new fire pit back there, a bunch of new chairs. It's going to be a really great area to be able to do lives every once in a while and sit and drum. So this morning we are just, I have some things to do. I'm working on the pendulum class, which will be for next Monday. This last class was on oracle cards. So we did a new format for that, which I really enjoyed. So I pre-record everything, and then we talk about it afterwards. So I like that. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Chris. I haven't found a nursery around here yet. I'll have to look. The lavender would do great. I planted a huge row of it last year, and then we left for Hawaii, and I came back, and the guy that we had mowing our lawn mowed it down along with all of my hydrangeas. Was not happy when I come home. I was like, I had like 12 hydrangea bushes and about 16 lavenders up. I have one lavender left. Why would you leave one? I even put mulch around them, you guys. Like I tilled it up, made little flower beds. Mulch. He also mowed down all our peonies. Like, and there's a good 20 peony bushes. Come on. It's like, this year I'll put little markers out and stuff and be like, no. Okay. Oh, I was upset because I wasn't just planting flowers for fun. Okay. The lavender was actually set out specifically to make metaphysical smudge wands with. So it's another year of buying. No, I don't think he was drunk. I don't think he cared. Put electrical fence around him. Maybe, right? Anyhow, good morning. And we had a fun class last night. We threw our newbies, not everybody's a newbie, but our students to some really wonderful people that sat for readings for them. They did fabulous, as they always do. It's all about our confidence, right, guys? It's all about our confidence. I'm reading from this morning. from the Mystic Shaman Oracle. That's our card this morning. Tomorrow evening, I'll be on doing animal totems. Yeah. I'm just feeling it like in an animal totem kind of mood. You know? I don't know what it is. Maybe it changes seasons here. I don't know. And my friend Allie, who's on here, we were laughing this morning. And anybody, this is just funny. It's just funny. You guys may think it's funny. You may not think it's funny. I have no idea. I'm gonna tell it anyways, right? So these two mares. I swear, someday they'll have these baby horses. And I'm. That's why I might not be on in the morning. I'm tired. I'm watching the camera all night long, waiting on these baby horses. And last night that mare was just laid out on the ground. I was so certain she was having that baby. Denied, right? Denied. No baby. Anyway, she's ready to pop. Her sides have dropped this morning. I'm like, yeah, here we go. Here we go. So the stud that bred her, between Allie Rosebrock and I sent him to be trained when he was much younger, when he was 3 years old, and to a college, and we don't know what they did to him, but I only witnessed him breed my mare a couple times, and he had to be really comfortable out in the front yard to do so, and you had to leave him out there. There is no taking this horse out on a line and breeding, so you know exactly when they were bred. There's no. And Allie called me this morning. She's like, that stud, he's shy, you guys. He's shy. Yeah, denied. He's shy. So if you walk out, she peeks around the corner and he's ready to breed this mare, and he goes, never mind. He sees her and he's like, never mind. I'm like, I don't know what they did to him at the college, but I'll never send another horse there, because he is the sweetest, most docile thing for Allie, and her son rides him, and he's only 6. He's amazing. But when he goes to breed a mare and now somebody else is in the neighborhood, he's like, nope, I'm sorry. He has shy penis. So that's my horse breeding story for the morning. That's what I woke up to, with Allie calling me, going, this darn horse. So you just go, well, he's shy. Okay, so let's pull a card. Now you've heard that. Let's pull a card for this morning. This is a interesting feeling deck. It's like kind of like a sigh, but really deep. It's weird. It's a weird feeling deck. I'm just sitting here tuning into it, go, interesting. This is a card. I'm just going to read I'm not going to read. There's nothing on here for you to actually read. So, but for me, this is a good morning, Tanya, a living between two worlds kind of card. This is walking between two lifestyles and being okay with it. This message is definitely on here for somebody this morning. There are times when, as spiritual people, let's get it out, right? We should go and blare that like Ducky. Is it Ducky? No, it was where he was playing the music. Living between two worlds can sometimes be difficult, right? It can be difficult because we get people that tell us, naysay, especially if you're in a family that was steeped in a lot of religion. This may be something that's much more difficult and people struggle with because we're told what's good and what's bad in our lifetime, right? And here's the thing. I struggled with this, and I wasn't really steep in the church, but I did go to church with my uncle and my aunt, and he was a Pentecostal minister, all fire and brimstone. Okay. And I just to be able to stay the night at my cousin's house, I would go to church with them in the morning. And I was told things like if I didn't go to their church, demons were going to drag me out of my bed in the middle of the night because my mom was Catholic. Okay. Things like that leave a scar on a person, right? So, and I was only like 8. So I struggled with this about, is it okay to access our divine light? and skip the middleman, right? How do we feel like we're viewed in the public eye if we are spiritual instead of dogmatic, right? Going through the dogma of the church, but yet we feel we have connection without having to have that. How many of us have felt like we've gone against the grain or against society to do this? And it's that cultural learning that we go through when we're younger, that we're taught what's right, what's wrong. And it's not even our parents' fault. They were probably taught this as well. If you think about the last and now versus 100 years ago, the church was very, very big. Yeah, spiritual versus religious. The church was huge in most people's lives, right? And we were taught that if you do anything against that or think for yourself, then you are burned by the stake, right? I love that. It's between God and us. It's nobody else's business. I was raised Catholic. And my mom, um, I mean, we weren't super Catholic. My mom was like very much, I'm not going to tell my sins to somebody else. So that was great. But I do love Catholic Mass. I do think it's beautiful. I love the um, I love the collection of traditions that Catholicism used to bring people into the fold, because it's old religion. It's not necessary. It's a conglomeration of other things to draw somebody in. Um, and I'm not talking about now, because now it's what we know, right? But I'm talking about when they, back in the Renaissance and before, when they were forming Christianity and trying to make it a force in people's lives. That's what they did, is they incorporated a bunch of different religions into one to bring people in, right? So it was what they did in the morning at that time. But I refuse to live my life under the shadow of coulda, shoulda, woulda. I feel like I could have the most connection I've ever had my whole entire life, and I will be the one that enforces it for myself, because I have that connection, right? You have that connection. We all have that connection. You don't have to go through a middleman. I don't know why we're talking about this. It just kind of went down a rabbit hole, didn't we? But the card itself is about living between those two lives and finding the balance of, I can be spiritual and still have my friends that are in the church, or still have my friends that judge me. They can do their thing. I can do my thing. If they have a problem with it, you can have a big enough heart to have those people, right? Because why? Because you're spiritual and you understand that everybody is here for a lesson in this time, right here, right now. And their lesson may be to make it rough for you. So you learn, and that may be it. And you can have a big enough heart to understand that they're maybe falling on the sword for you, right? On the other side, they may have gone, hey, I love you enough to give you challenges. And I'm going to be the bad guy, or I'm going to be the good guy. You may be the bad guy. I don't know. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. We're teaching everybody as long as we go, right? So, as that goes, if somebody decides that you're too much for them, then you may be too much for them in this lifetime. And that's their choice. But don't think that living between these two worlds means you cannot continue to love the people that you love. The question is do they have enough love for you to accept you for who you are? Right? Living between two worlds can be difficult. Yeah, that gets you to the big 5D, that understanding that that 4D low vibration is not where to live. There's 2 levels to 4. There's that lower vibration, and then there's that higher vibration that's full of love and light and acceptance and just and then when you understand that it's all part of a lesson, all part of everything that we're predestined to come here to do. Not everything's predestined, but most of it. We do have free will. Then you punch up into that, right? And you move off into different types of communication. It's all about love. It is. It really is. How hard is it for you guys, for me to love somebody that was dropped in our path to be an obstacle? Can you name one person that's an obstacle in your life that presents an obstacle? I can. I can name a couple. But I also understand where they may be on their soul path, and that I have to love them regardless, whether it's a family member or not, um, because they're there for a specific reason. A specific reason. I'm going to give you an example. And this is a hard example, and I'm not giving any names. And I know she's not watching it. And if she was, I would still tell the story. I grew up with somebody, right? My cousin, not blood cousin, my stepdad's nieces, and we love each other, right? We grew up together. Went on a cruise with her. She's still there's so many stories that go with this trip. So many stories that go with this trip. I can't even tell them all on here. Just so many stories, and most of them are funny. Okay, most of them are funny, but I I myself personally cannot take any kind of pain medications other than above, over the counter. I see like purple bears and really strange stuff, and I get really high really quickly. I'm just not used to having anything in my body, and but I had Oxycontin, and we were going on a cruise, and I was like, you never know when you might need some. I can't take it, but maybe somebody. And my choice. This is the oddest thing I'm going to tell you guys, and it's kind of personal, but it was my choice, just so randomly, to take that medication on that cruise. Did I need it? I did not. But I thought, if somebody gets hurt, maybe they need this. Why would I even think that? Why would I even think that? I don't use it. I don't use it. So it was put in that thought was put into my path. It taught me the damnedest lesson. And my dad dropped us off to the airport, we're just like, we're so excited. He picked us up, and I was like, I just want to go home. I'm just so done with this point. I just want to go home. And anyways, I didn't understand that my cousin had a problem with this, and she happened to be staying in my room. And I had never in my life dealt with an addict. I'd never, on any level, really, believe it or not. I'm very sheltered. I always have been. Um, my guides have always taken care of me very well. My parents, it's not that they went out of their way to shelter me, but I didn't understand. And this is not that long ago. It's like 8 years ago. And so we get on the cruise, we're having a great time. And then I start to notice that my clothing is moved. And we did an inventory at the beginning of the cruise. Okay. So my other cousin and her, because I'm out there with family, lots of family. And we sit down, and we're like, okay, she's like, I got the first aid kit. I'm like, I have this over here just in case we have issues, whatever. I brought some this, and I brought some that, and I brought Tylenol and Band-Aids, blah, 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 blah. We really pack for anything, right? So I didn't think anything about it. And then my stuff started to be rifled through, right? I'd come back, and they're like, all my stuff would be all over the place. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Leanne, what's going on? I don't know. Oh, okay. And then I found the Oxycontin bottle, and the Oxycontin bottle was missing stuff, because I had only taken one because the purple bears convinced me to not take any more. I was in Kroger's, okay? And what? So anyways, so I immediately realized what was happening. I'm like, nobody else is in our room. So I hid it very well, and she found it. And that was the first moment I went, holy crap. I mean, I hid it underneath a cabinet, and she found it. I thought, what the hell? So I went and I talked to my other cousin, right? And she's like, I don't know what to tell you. And she's like, this is a problem. And I said, well, crap. So this is my person that's been put in my path to teach me a lesson. I didn't understand this at that time. I was upset. I was upset that she would go through my stuff to search for something, right? Who does this? Like I said, I'd never dealt with anything like this. So I was like, huh. I went in with a full bottle, only had one missing. By the end of the cruise, the last day of the cruise, I had 3 pills left. I had a full month's prescription. And I was A, concerned for my cousin, B, livid that she went through my stuff, and C, didn't know how to handle it. I can look at this now and go, I understand. She was put in my path. Oh, yeah, she took a lot. She's put in my path to let me see a different angle of things, right? I still love her. I'm not going to lie. It's changed our relationship. I think more for her than me because my brain, I was talking to somebody yesterday. I think it was Renee. I don't remember a whole lot of things. Like I lose them really quickly. I've played poker. I can't tell you how many times. I don't remember how to play poker. You have to reteach me every single time. Short-term memory, not so great. So I don't have a problem with it. I was at the time I was like livid, and now I'm just like, she's my cousin. What am I going to do? I love her, right? I love her, and it's not like it's an ongoing problem. She's always going to be an addict, but she only does it when it's presented in front of her like a gift, like I did, and I didn't realize it. I should have had a V8. I should have stayed at a Holiday Inn Select. Anyways, so do I have things about the trip I can laugh about? Oh my God. Yes, I do. I mean, and we first got there. I didn't know she walked in her sleep. I don't remember her ever walking in her sleep. I wake up. I'm going to tell you this because it's going to crack you guys up. It's going to crack you up. Crack you up. I think. And we're staying in Miami, and I wake up in the middle of the night and I hear water running, and I'm like, I sit up in the bed. Why do I hear water running? I can't tell this. I just can't tell it. It's too much. I just can't. Anyways, so I learned a lesson there, and I learned a lesson, but part of my lesson was I can't hate my cousin because she has an addiction. I can't hate my cousin at all. I love her. I love her. I also love that she taught me a lesson and that I understand that now. At the time I didn't. Honestly, at the time I didn't. When I took pain meds, I saw X's on the wall that was crawling around like spiders. Yeah, I stay away from pain meds. I just can't. I just can't. Yeah, there's a lot of addiction out there. I am very, very blessed to not be a part of anybody's struggle that way. Really, that happened to us. So-called friend stole a whole bottle of pain meds. Mike had just had a surgery. Oh yeah. And what are you going to do? You don't have the pain meds, right? They're not going to give you more. Yep. I know, and leave you hanging. I'll tell the story if you really want to hear the story, but it was so funny that it set the tone for that. I was like, I can't make this shit up. She goes, oh my God, the next words, don't tell my sister. And I walk out the door and I'm like, let me tell you what your sister did. You can't hold stuff like that. It's just too much. But anyways, that is just an incident in a lifetime, right? That's just an incident in a lifetime for me where I go, I love her. I love her. And she struggles. And she has manifested a lot of things in her own personal lifetime that has been part of her lesson as well. But she was a huge part of mine. And I absolutely love her. No matter what. If she called me and said, I need you, I would be there. I will not take Oxycontin. I would be there. And here's the thing. We actually sat down because I'm not the kind of person that will just, you can't, I cannot do it. It is on my face. When I am angry, it radiates off me like energy. And I now understand that that's part of that empathy, that empathic, that you don't just take it in, but it rolls off you in waves as well. But I wear it on my face. It's horrible. And she says, I want to have brunch. And I'm like, you don't want to have brunch. She goes, no, I want to have brunch with you. And so we went to brunch and she says, oh God, yes, I discussed him with her. Absolutely. She goes, I know you're mad at me. She says, I think you're mad at me and I think I know why. And I said, you damn well better know why. I don't mess around. I don't mess around. And we talked about it. And she's like, it has affected her life, but she had done very well getting back from that. And then it was just a relapse. And I was like, relapse with somebody else, man. Don't do it. I found Mike pouring milk on his cereal. Oh, shit. No bowl. No bowl. So dynamic situations like this, should I hate her? I can't. We have too many sneak out the window moments when I was a kid. She could tell on me at Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving, when you get to be my age, is the time everybody tells all the dirty secrets from your childhood. I can't piss her off. No, I'm kidding. I only ever snuck out the window one time. It scared the crap out of me. I went, no. I won't trust her with meds. And that's a lesson, right? It is a wasted energy, right, Chris? Right? I'm actually going to send her the link to Salem. Her lifelong dream was to go to Salem. She's been Wiccan since we were like 16. And one of her things she's always wanted to do was go to Salem on Halloween. And I'm going to send her the link and be like, hey, you can't stay in my room. We're going to Salem. Okay. She peed in the closet. She was sleepwalking. Oh my God. And I just was like, Leanne, what are you doing? And she goes, nothing. Like, you're supposed to do that in the bathroom. I am in the bathroom. So it was a sliding door, right? And that happens. Because I'm sitting up in the bed. And what made it really weird, what made it even weirder than what was going on, was she had leaned against the wall like a dude on a urinal. I was dying. Okay. So and here's the thing, she's coming back to bed and I'm like, it's a huge king size bed and I put pillows between us. I'm like, you're just going to have to stay over there. So she gets back in bed. I lay down, right? I go back to sleep. Oh, my shoes were not in there. And I'm just like, I can't believe that just happened. I just can't believe it just happened. I lay down and go back to sleep. We get up the next morning. And I know, Angel's like, family things you never need to know. So I roll over, right? And I look at her and she's just waking up. And I'm like, you can hear the birds. Boo, doo, 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 doo. I look at her and I'm like, how are you this morning? She's like, I'm wonderful. And how are you? I said, I'm fine, but you peed in the closet last night. She goes, I did not. I said, get up and check the closet, right? So she gets over and she looks in the closet. She goes, there's nothing on the floor. Well, it's indoor outdoor carpeting. Okay. It's indoor. I'm like, and she goes walking around. So here's me. I'm going, did I sleep? Did I dream that? Am I nuts? Am I nuts? I specifically remember sitting up in bed and I said, go put your foot on that floor. So she did. And she just was so mortified. I mean, to tell you, she's like, oh, don't tell my sister. Oh, come on. This is too good for that. That train's left the station. Here, wait, let me get dressed so I can run out in the hallway. Oh my God, I'm sorry. You ever have something like that happen where you can look back years later and just go, what the hell? Oh God, you guys did not anticipate this morning. All from religion, right? We started talking about religion. Angel's like, oh my God, I'm going to call her and tell her you're telling these stories online. But I think she'd be okay with it because I'm pretty sure she'd be okay with it because she understands that everything that we do is part of a grand plan, right? There's a lesson here. I don't know what the peeing in the closet had to do with anything, but the rest of it, maybe it was set the tone, have a little humor, right? It was hysterical. Hysterical. But we all have little things in our lifetime that pop. No, I mean, she was made against the wall like it was a urinal. It wasn't the fact that she peed in the closet that was so weird. It was the way she was doing it. I'm like, oh my God. So many stories, a little time, right, Diana? Oh, the family stories. Oh, God. Okay. So anyways, now that you guys know way too much, but it is one of my lessons. It is one of my lessons, and I absolutely love her. I don't talk to her as much as I should, but I have been really thinking about her in the last couple of days, and that I need to reach out and I need to let her know I love her because she feels really bad about the whole incident, and she doesn't. Not about the peeing in the closet, but she's holding herself to that guilt, not me. I understand it's a lesson, right? Angel's my sister. She's like, what the hell? So she holds herself. You're not sharing a room with Brenda Cruz. I'm not either, man. But that's part of this as well. She holds herself to a really, really. My dogs just cannot help themselves. She feels horrible about it, and she doesn't stop thinking about it when we're talking, and that makes it very difficult because I don't want her to feel guilty. I don't want her to feel guilty. Anyhow, now you guys know way too much. It was funny. Let's pull another card. Let's move on. You guys never. No, yeah. You know what? I will share that she's a miracle. She's a miracle. So this is the other side of that. So let's go into that. Why is she still here? At 18 years old, she married a man. We'll call him a man. She married a man. She was one of 6 wives. She was living in, oh crap, I can't remember. It's Michigan area, by Detroit. And she was trying to get away from the Pentecostal life, right? Well, way to go. So she was one of 6 wives, and she was not feeling good. So one of the other wives, he wouldn't let her go to the doctor. And she went, one of the other wives snuck her to the doctor. So she gets to the doctor, finds out she has full-blown cancer throughout her whole entire body. She's really, really, really bad off. And the husband's like, too bad. He was a beater. And he was just going to let her fall to the wayside. Well, she got the nerve up to leave the house and went to the hospital and was staying in the hospital. I don't think you know this version of the story, Angel. And I have some family members that are less than aware. So the fact that she was part of this family unit, he was from Saudi Arabia, was held very in poor esteem by some males in our family. And it wasn't held in my highest esteem either, just because of the way he treated her and 6 wives. Come on. And anyways, so she's in the hospital. And they were doing radiation. They were doing all sorts of things on her, trying to save her life because they told her she wasn't going to live. And then the doctor came in, the husband was standing there, and the doctor said, "You'll never have children. You'll never have children." And he was like, "I divorced you," and was done with her. So he said, right? So she was upset. She was 18. She didn't know what to do. She was crying, "Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me." So she calls some family members, and they refused to go get her. And then she called my mom, and and here I am. I'm like 17, right? So my mom's like, "We need to go help Leanne." And I said, "Come on, let's go." So my mom gets in the car. I get in the car. We head up to, I can't remember the name of the area. We head up to the hospital, and they're ready to release her because they didn't think there was anything else they could do for her. Her treatment was done. And so we're standing in the room, helping her get her stuff together, and her husband walks in. Here I am, 17. Not too bright. Okay, I'm not too bright. I look back at this now and I'm like, "Oh, Lisa." And he walks up and he says, "You're not taking my wife." And I backed his ass out of that room, step for step. Because when I get pissed off, I puff up and I get a little taller. And I blessed his butt right out the door. And we walked out that hospital with my cousin. And she wasn't supposed to be alive, right? So a couple months later, she finds out she's in remission. What a blessing. They did some more stuff after she got out of that hospital, and she's in remission. And so she's out of that incident. And she got remarried and then found out she was pregnant. Amazing, right? Oh yeah, I was pissed. If I had a stick, I'd have beat him. Might have had a small temper when I was younger. Might. And beautiful baby girl, never was supposed to happen ever, because they said they killed all of her reproductive organs with all of her treatment, right? Miracles. So her babies now had babies, and she's a grandma, and her cancer's returned. But it returned in the form of two brain tumors, which she has had operations on now, and now she has more cancer. So this is how many years later? How many years? I mean, this is 30 years long. She's been a blessing, right? She's been a blessing. So your family would say, "Get in line." Our family should have said, "Get in line." But it's family. Thug life. Yeah. Oh man, I was mad. Don't you ever lay a hand on a woman. And don't ever a woman lay a hand on a man. Same, right? So, but there's a reason she's in this life. There's a reason she's learning all of these things. And I think that's why she's on my mind, because I need to call her. I need to call her and see how she's doing, because she doesn't call me. Because that relationship is altered. So I'll call her today. See how she's doing. But yeah, 2 brain tumors. Can you believe that crap? I mean, come on. Really? When you struggle and you work so hard to stay healthy, and that's not the bad ones. So she must have a mission. I'm not quite I'm not quite sure what her mission is. She does teach lessons. And I don't want anybody to think that she's a raging addict. She really isn't. That was a moment of weakness that was placed right in front of her. It was a test. Obviously, because I wasn't supposed to, I couldn't take this stuff. Why would I take it with me? It was such a weird fluke, right? I brought her kryptonite onto the cruise. Okay. Weird talk this morning, right? And you know what? The medicine wheel. What comes around will always go around. Kind of like karma. But this is what quadrant of the wheel are you living in right now? Where are you living? Spring, summer, fall, winter? What are you learning? Because this is what this is about. Are we in the beginning of our lessons? Are we in the end of our lessons? So many things that we are put here to go through and learn. You guys. Yeah, Diana, I'll hold that card up again. And right, I want you to notice that serpent's in there as well, right? See that serpent? That was the beginning of our conversation. Living between two worlds. Are we in the middle of a change for our lessons right now? I really think a lot of us are. We're shifting gears. I'm shifting gears. So, all right. So now I'm going to message my cousin and be like, hey, how you doing? Maybe this is a sign that I need to talk to her more often and help her remove her own guilt, because that's really what's keeping us from talking, is she judges herself so strongly by an action that happened almost a decade ago. And I just go, hey, and she'll even acknowledge that this is something that is the reason we're not so close anymore. And I say, get over it. So, yeah, and they are the beginning and the end of another. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Fry's here. Is Mr. Fry here? Okay. With that, you guys, it could be. It could be. With that, I am off. I am off. I'm off. All right. No. Okay. Obviously, the dog is needy, so I need to go take care of that. I think it's time. Yeah, I think it's time she loves herself a little bit more. She's holding on to stuff. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful afternoon. I have to go allow the dog outside. So have a great afternoon. Find love, find light. If you're in the mediumship class tonight, I will see you then. If you're not in the mediumship class, watch My Mystical Life. I'll be looking for volunteers later. So if you're looking for a mediumship reading, that may be in your future, right? Haley's box just showed up. I got to pack your stuff, Angel. All right. Have a great day, guys, and I will talk.